Why am I so cynical and jaded? Well, they say inside every cynic is an optimist or an idealist. And I used to be an idealist, and I still am. My inner idealist isn't dead yet. He's just on life support. And why am I so cynical and so jaded at this point? Well, mostly because the people that I'm around, most of the people that I'm around, at least online, care more about themselves and trivial things like YouTube and YouTube squabbles and beefs and the kind of time investment and energy investment that people make into these ridiculous squabbles and beefs is troubling to me. Did you know, and I wonder, I'm kind of curious, how many of you remember around the time frame of 2008, 2009, Occupy Wall Street? Does anybody remember Occupy Wall Street? It was a primarily leftist, communist to a large degree. You can argue about, I'm sure, some of you hardcore righties will come in here, communism, why don't you go read a book, okay? I'm not a communist. I don't advocate for communism. However, I do advocate for extreme reform. So Occupy Wall Street was all about financial reform, okay? This is in the wake of the 2008 crash, okay? How many of you even really remember the circumstances surrounding the 2008 crash? It was pretty hardcore, man. It was essentially, and again, this is really the irony of, people who are the righties and whatnot who are against socialism and communism. What happened in 2008 was socialism for the rich because they used public money to bail out all these rich people, right? I don't know. If you remember, go look into it again. It's a fact. And they're still talking about doing it again. So anyway, I was a part of Occupy Wall Street. Primarily, I helped with my donations and whatnot. And when I was living in Minneapolis at the time, the Minneapolis contingency of Occupy Wall Street was relatively small. But, whatever. I was a part of it. When we were all about reform. So, and that got, you probably don't even remember what happened to it. There was a media blackout. And they sent in the FBI and the paramilitary forces, in New York City and all around the world. I don't think they really did a clean sweep in Minneapolis because it was so small, and it ended up being just one guy in a tent, literally just sitting outside one of these financial buildings in downtown Minneapolis. Anyway, point being that they came in, wiped it out, and it was over. Why? Because it was a threat. And so the corporate state, and yes, it is a corporate state primarily, decided, hey, we've had enough, let's shut this down. And so it's over. So why am I so cynical and jaded? Because nobody cares about those kinds of things. Nobody cares about real reform in this country. Nobody cares about real change in this country. Nobody's really involved. Voting doesn't matter either. So let's get that straight. I want to get that really straight. Because I still get these, people coming at me and wagging their finger at me. Well, you should vote. Voting is, if you don't vote, then, you're responsible for, no, you're responsible for the decline of this country because you don't actually do anything. You're the kind of asshole who just sits online all day, just talking about shit that doesn't fucking matter without doing anything because you're too fucking lazy and because you're too fucking ignorant and you're too fucking uneducated about reality because you're still living on a fucking cloud, a media. Okay, because you've been brainwashed. Yeah, you've been brainwashed. But oh no, that's not real. Oh, you're being ridiculous, MJ. You're being outrageous, MJ. No, I'm being real, man. Okay, you have no idea how bad it really fucking is, and that's the whole point. And that's why I'm so cynical and jaded. Because you all live in a fucking illusion, this little bubble, this little fucking electronic bubble that you've created, that they've created, and that you've been complicit in, called YouTube. It's fucking disappointing as fuck, man. And why doesn't voting matter? Because you have no real representative power. They passed a law. Gosh, I forget the name of it. See, because I'm not active. I used to be massively into this kind of stuff. And because nobody listens, nobody cares, I quit. Because it's like, what's the fucking point? If the average person isn't going to fucking take any of this stuff seriously, that you're going to believe all the lies, fuck it, man. Let it burn. Let it fucking burn. But they passed a law. Gosh, God, why can't I remember the name of that bill? Anyway, it was a big deal. It had to do with campaign contributions. All the funny little fake names that they give these things, like, America First and, First Democracy and Democracy Rising and whatever. And you look it up. I apologize. I sound like a fucking idiot now because I can't even remember the name of this bill. It was like the Patriot Act or something. And it's not the Patriot. I know the Patriot Act is something that has to do with war powers and media powers and that kind of stuff. And so anyway, okay. The point is money has run politics for a long time. And they made sure that money was going to be the ultimate power in politics. You have no representative power. Okay. How many of you even write to your congressman or your senator? Of course, none of you do. None of you do. And then there's like one person out there, oh, I do. I used to write to my congressmen and senators all the time. But you know what? They don't give a flying fuck because we don't pay their campaign contributions. We don't get them elected. We may cast the votes, but the guys that put them in office are their constituency. They're the ones that they're passing laws for. They're the ones that they pick up the phone for. They're the ones that they answer the emails. They don't give a fuck. Okay? Fact. Just, oh my God, grow the fuck up, man. Grow the fuck up. I'm sorry I'm turning this into a political channel, but I'm so fucking tired of the insanity. People giving more of a fuck about what happens on YouTube than what happens out there in the fucking world. Oh my God, you people are so dumb. Not all of you. I know not all of you. And yes, I'm insulting my audience. People really need to get your shit together, man. For real. But you won't. I know you won't. Why? Because I've done this. I've seen this all happen before, man. We deserve what's happening and we deserve what's coming. Oh, you're just being a doomsayer now, man. No, you've all been turned into little corporate drones, little fucking media drones, little fucking idle, do nothing, don't be involved, dipshit motherfuckers, man. Fuck it.